on, lady friend, can't we all get along? Find out when you die, the keys to heaven can't be bought. Still don't know what love is, but we sure know what it's not. Sometimes you got to get along down the road. We got a long, long way to go.
Waiting for the clock to hit 8:30.
We ain't perfect, but we try. Get along while we can.
Mine says 8:30. Good morning, everybody. What is it? November 19th. Oh my gosh, 11 days and 42 days left in the year. Question is, what are we going to do with them? You know, I made a statement on Tuesday that basically anything we write now is not going to close this year, and that's so not true. Because I think we're seeing probably 30% of our contracts coming in as cash right now. So cash can still close. So don't give up hope. You can still have a great Christmas. Bah humbug. All right. So today, I sent you a note last night. I hope some of you took the time to watch the video. You know, as a life betterment company, really, we talk a lot about money because we're independent contractors and we can make money. But what's more important than money is health. And we perform very stressful jobs, staff and agents. I mean, we're just busy all the time. You guys have to be, you never get a day off. You never get really a vacation. I mean, you go away a lot, but you never stop working. You have to bring your phone, you got to bring your computer, you got to do all this stuff. So you're always on. And my message last night was, what good is your money if you don't have your health? So Dr. Axe has infiltrated our company, starting with Susie and then Angelique and then me, and I don't know how many other people have gone yet. But if you care about your health, it's important to, you know, what is my saying all the time? Awareness gives you flexibility, flexibility gives you options, and options give you power. So you have to be aware of your health and what you can do to make it better. And then we talk about intentions and beliefs, and you know, they kind of control your life. And I believe that your body can heal itself. And that's where the holistic medicine concept comes in. And I just wanted to share that with you because Dr. Axe really seems to have a cool handle on it. So Dr. Axe, do you relate with what I just said, that realtors have stressful jobs?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. Yeah, there's a lot, you know, I think it's when you can't turn things off. Like a lot of people that work 8 to 5 maybe don't make as much money, but it's also not, it's not as stressful. You're always on call. It's always on your mind. And that creates anxiety for a lot of people and a lot of stress. You're in your car a lot. So I want to talk about posture today, and you're in weird positions, sitting at a desk, driving. So yeah, it's not optimal.
Very true. So the video that I asked you to send me last night, which you did, and I sent out, talked about the connection between your spine and your whole body working. I thought that was something you might want to add on too, because it kind of sets the basis up for holistic medicine or natural medicine. I'm listening to a book right now. It's Dr. Hawkins. Have you ever heard of Dr. David Hawkins?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, he's a fascinating guy, and he's a psychiatrist and a whole bunch of other things. And he is dissing modern medicine because it's pharmacological. Pharmacological, is that a word?
Yep.
They just push pills. And I thought I'd talk just for a minute about the experience I had with you. You had me take a test. I sent you whatever money was. They sent me a box with a cup in it. I peed in it. I put it in FedEx. They sent it back. They sent me a report, which meant nothing to me. It was absolutely Greek. And then I had a consultation with you, and you went through and saw my markers of what was what. And I think the biggest takeaway was you found out that I'm not processing protein as well as I could be, which means I was low on my amino acids, which I know nothing about. I just trust you. So now all of a sudden I'm taking all these supplements, like friggin' 9 pills I just took this morning. And then I take 6 or 4 that afternoon. I take 3 tonight. And I've been doing that now for a couple of weeks. So then I'll see you in another couple, like sometime in December, I think it is. And we'll redo that test and we'll see if these things change my markers and my body's working better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And, I think one thing we've been talking about is health is how you heal, not how you feel. So, you know, a lot of patients, it's like modern medicine is just treating you around that disease process. So you don't have a disease until you're at 40% organ function. I mean, that is terrible. 40%. I mean, that means you're halfway to death if you're at 40 or 50%, right? So with these tests, we find things, some of those things I showed you in the test, it's like, well, I don't feel that necessarily. Well, no, you don't feel it, but it's affecting your body's ability to heal. It's affecting you to have optimal mood, optimal energy. It's going to really affect you once you hit 70, 80 years old and things start to go downhill. So we're correcting things that you might not have known about for another 10, 20 years, which is, I think is pretty cool.
Very cool. So I said when I first opened up that I have a belief that the body can heal itself, and I think you just verified that.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as I really liked it, I wrote it down. Health is how you heal, not how you feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you can heal yourself.
If you base it on how you feel, then you're living in a very reactive state instead of a proactive state. So I'm sure you guys know that with real estate. I mean, you got to be very proactive in what you're doing. You can't just wait around until something happens. You got to be on top of it. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I want to, you know, with holistic medicine, it's not necessarily natural medicine. It is, but it's more whole medicine. It's treating the whole body. And so that's why I like the spinal aspect, because some people, right, you can have a gut issue because of what you're eating, but you can have a gut issue because you have low back nerve impingement, and now the nerves can't fire to your gut to cause it to contract properly. So holistic medicine is me looking at the whole picture, not just your diet, looking at the whole thing.
Wow.
So you, and I do have some pictures and stuff like that, some x-rays, so I can screen share just to kind of show everybody. Here we go. Which one is it? So let's talk about the spine and kind of how this works. So pain really is an epidemic right now. We spend $635 billion a year on it, which is more than the cost for cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. So it is one of those hidden things that people, oh, it's just pain or whatever, but no, it's actually worse than cancer. It's causing more health issues. Right? You think about, maybe it doesn't directly cause death, but it causes a decrease in enjoyment, and you start taking pain medication, which causes liver damage, right? So it does actually cause death in not a direct way, but in a lot of other ways. So, so the question is, why are people still in pain? And so their issue is you have not addressed all four tissues that control your joints. You have your muscle, you have your ligament, you have your disc, you have the bones, the nerves. There's a lot of tissues that make that up. And so holistic medicine, we address the whole picture, not just part of it. This is the exact reason that I got out of chiropractic, was because it was not addressing the entire problem. I was only addressing the joint, the mobility of the joint, and some postural aspects. And I said, hey, we're not doing the physical therapy and rebalancing the weak muscles they have from sitting all day. We're not strengthening the ligaments that are tight from sitting all day. So there we go. So you have to address everything. And then the other thing is posture is important. Posture, I believe, gut issues and posture are two of the biggest things that we can start to correct. And then the last thing why people maybe they get adjusted or they stretch and they don't get better, because they haven't reset their nervous system. At the end of the day, if you feel pain, where are you actually feeling that? Where's that pain actually generated from?
I don't know.
Actually,
I was going to say your brain.
In your brain, right? That's why they found that people, when they have arm pain, they get their arm cut off. 60% of them have phantom limb pain, because the pain's in the brain. It's not actually in the arm or the joint. So you got to reset. It's all about the brain at the end of the day. So
how do you reset your nervous system?
We're going to talk about that.
Okay.
So what causes spinal issues, back pain, neck pain? systemic inflammation, number one, which we've been talking about, right? Work on your gut, working on your diet, working on all that stuff. So we're not going to talk about that today. Second one is neuromuscular dysfunction. Number three is joint tissue damage. So that could be from lack of motion. So lack of motion, right? If you don't use it, you what?
Lose it.
You lose it. So a lot of people, doctors say, hey, you have arthritis in your spine because you're old and you've used the joint too much. That's actually the untrue, and it's actually the opposite. They found out that joints that become adhesed, maybe you had a car accident or a slip and fall or chronically sitting, it doesn't matter. And then that scar tissue develops in the joint. And so one joint moves and then the other joint next to it doesn't move. And so the joint that doesn't move is the one that degenerates and deteriorates. So I see it all the time on x-ray. I'll see 3 good discs and then 1 really bad one. And you can see they're just jammed together and the joint's not moving. And that's where chiropractic comes in. We find that segment on x-ray and we actually adjust it and it breaks up the scar tissue. And then when you break up scar tissue, it starts to move again. And when it moves again, it pumps nutrients in and it pumps toxins out. And now it can actually regenerate and heal, right? If there's no blood flow and there's no movement, your body just deteriorates over time. So lack of motion, that's really where chiropractic comes into play. That's where decompression comes into play, things like that. The next one is nerve impingements. So let me actually skim down. I have some pictures of this. So yeah, let's actually just go through this here. So let's talk about posture here for a minute. So they found that every inch your head shifts forward, it doubles the weight of your head. So if your head moves forward 2 inches, instead of 10 pounds, your head now weighs 30 pounds. This is the same concept as if you hold a bowling ball right next to your chest, it's pretty light, but if you hold it way out, it becomes exponentially heavier. So a lot of people have herniated disc, arthritis, pinched nerves, because instead of 10 pounds of force on the spine, you have 30. And then 30 pounds on a disc will actually cause it to bulge and herniate, where 10 pounds will not cause it to bulge out and herniate. Again, you take a balloon, you put a little bit of pressure, it doesn't do anything. You triple the pressure, the balloon is going to expand out. So, but posture, we know that doesn't happen overnight, right? That's just from a decade, 20, 30 years, driving in a car all day from house to house, sitting at a desk, typing out emails all day, right? They say sitting is the new smoking. Like sitting is literally just as bad as smoking, they're finding out. I mean, it's just, I'm sitting right now talking to you guys, right? So it's something that we all deal with, but there's ways to counteract this. So posture, super important. So when I take an x-ray of someone, I can actually look at posture. And so this is an example is this big enough where you guys can see this, or do I need to blow this up?
I put my glasses on, I can see it fine. Okay.
So you're supposed to have a curvature in the neck, just like that. You can see the one on the right-hand side has like a C. You see the red line, it makes a C curve. Where the one on the left, you can see the blue line, it's totally straight. So what they're finding out is if you take a normal curve, which is ideal, it's the same reason the Egyptians make pyramids, because a 45-degree right triangle is the strongest structure that exists on the planet, okay? So if you make a curve in your neck, it actually makes a right triangle, a 45-degree arch in your neck. So if you lose it, you lose all that strength and stability. It's the same reason that they make the Superdome, right? Because it holds all that weight. But if they made a super roof and it was just flat, the thing would literally collapse. And so by losing the curvature in the neck, we're putting all that load on our mid-back, our low back, our neck, and it causes not just neck issues, it can cause, radiating pain down the arm, chronic trap tightness, kind of that stabbing pain in the mid-back, because all those muscles in your mid-back are now trying to hold 30, 40 pounds of your head all day. So that's why when we correct people's postures, they don't feel the pain, they don't feel the discomfort, they don't need to get massages as often because those muscles are starting to work properly. That's awesome. They did this study and they found out that the conclusion here, I'll just kind of bullet point this. When you lose the curve in your neck, it results in demyelination of nerve fibers. Demyelination, that means your nerve is deteriorating. Think about Parkinson's, ALS, Alzheimer's, all of these things is a neurodegenerative disease. That means your nerves are degenerating. So they're finding that your brain and your nerves actually start to deteriorate when you lose the curve in your neck, okay?
Wow.
This takes decades to develop, right? It might be 90%, 80%, 70%, but eventually this is going to lead to neurodegenerative disease. So the mobility of your neck and the curvature and the posture isn't just how you look. This literally affects your entire health. So, and it even says that not only that, the change in the curve causes mechanical compression and vascular changes in the spinal cord. So basically you're not getting the blood flow to the spinal cord from this. This is just a picture of when you increase that postural load, how the disc, this is just an MRI, so you can see what a bulging disc pushing into the spinal cord actually looks like. But again, a lot of people think, oh, my doctor said I have degenerative disc disease. I have a bulging disc. That's my problem. Nothing I can do about it. That's just genetically what I have. It's not a disease, even though they call it disc disease. All it is you put too much pressure on it and the balloon bulged out and pushed on your nerve. It's not a disease. It's just an increase in pressure, which is totally correctable.
So back to my awareness gives you flexibility, options, and power. I'm thinking, I don't know. I have neck pain pretty often.
Yeah.
What would I do? Come see you and you would get my baseline x-rays?
Yeah, I always look at x-rays first because that tells 90% of what we need to know. So I can see what segment, maybe what disc is affected. I can look at the structure, the curvature, and then I can look at the posture as far as how far forward is the head. And then that can let us know what we need to do. Now, some people have the opposite problem of immobility. And like say they're in a car accident, the segment will it'll actually start sliding instead of bending. It's so loose and damaged, and it starts to slide around. And that's called spondylolisthesis. And I have to catch that on an x-ray, because if we don't catch that, these are the people that maybe see someone, they get worse because they're unstable and someone's treating them and making it worse. So I really like x-rays because I can catch that, and then I can actually treat that if I find that on x-ray. That's in the neck and the back normally. So yeah, the first thing is really an x-ray and doing an exam, looking at symptoms. But the x-rays it's probably one of my most enjoyable things, is just to take them and show someone and be like, here it is, and you never know what you're going to find. You really don't. So it's always exciting. So the big reason that this is so important, you can see on this chart, every organ of your entire body is innervated by your neurological system. So Christopher Reeves, right, fell off a horse. The top bone in his neck moved 1 centimeter. It pushed on his spinal cord. He had to have a pacemaker for his heart. He had to have iron lungs to breathe properly. And every day he had to have therapists to do a circular motion around his colon and his small intestine to get the food to move through his digestive tract. Did he injure his gut? No. Did he injure his heart? No. But he injured his neck, and now the nerve electrical impulses could not fire at 100% to cause those organs to contract properly. 1 centimeter, right? That's really not that much. So they said that his nerves were firing at 20%. They were still working, they were just at 20%. So it wasn't enough. So he needed extra support from, again, a pacemaker and a massage on his gut. So
would that be correctable today? Could you have chiropractically adjusted that back into place? I'm sure he had the best doctors working on him, but
yeah, there was definitely more that could have been done. Like all these athletes have these issues, and was it McMahon? He saw a chiropractor that did like upper cervical specific, and he couldn't remember his wife's name, and then boom, his memory came back after them treating his neck. But again, a lot of these athletes aren't even getting they're getting shitty treatment actually, which is kind of sad. But so yeah, absolutely. I mean, his spinal cord was actually physically damaged, but yeah, pressure could have been taken off, flow of cerebral spinal fluid could have been increased, and he could have recovered more than he did. Absolutely. So, so let's talk about neuromuscular reeducation, because again, I said this is in the brain. So if this is all off, we still have to reset the brain. This is where we use a vibration plate. It vibrates at 30 hertz, and this specific frequency helps strengthen your postural muscles. Those are the muscles that hold you in good posture, okay? If I go to the gym and start bench pressing, doing squats, I'm not working my postural muscles. That is a very different type of exercise. Those are the exercises that we actually analyze and prescribe at my office. But the vibration plate causes a contraction of those postural muscles. And we do that right after adjustment. At the end of your treatment, boom, vibe plate strengthens postural muscles, resets the brain muscle connection. So talking about the brain again, after 3 months of having pain, it's no longer in the tissue. It has now become a permanent change in the brain. Okay. So that's why positive thinking is important too. Hey, I will overcome pain. I am out of pain. Some people I've treated, I'm like, we've fixed everything. This is just in your brain. It's your negative thinking at this point. The pain's gone. It's just so wired in your thinking and in your brain that you're still in pain, right? And that happens sometimes.
Wow.
So you asked me this. So what do we do? Well, what's an exam include? I find misalignments, right? Is there instability? Is there slippage somewhere? Is there adhesions restricting mobility somewhere? Is there a nerve impinge somewhere? And is there any systemic inflammation that's driving this entire process? So when I talk to people and we do x-rays exam, these are all the 4 main things that I try to look for. And then what's the solution, right? That's the important part. We do postural correction techniques. If there's a muscle adhesion that's just blocking the spine from moving and getting the results I want, we do trigger point injections. We do vibration traction. So basically, if you want to decompress a disc and you pull it, it works okay. But if you vibrate it, it happens 10 times quicker. Right? It's the same concept as what the toothbrush is now, right? They vibrate and they work 10 times better than a regular toothbrush because that vibration motion. Low back decompression. We do spinal orthotics. Wish I had one in the room right now. We have foam rolls that have a peak on them, and you land them for 15 minutes, and it actually molds the curves back in your spine. So we do those as well. A lot of our physical therapy isn't just regular physical therapy. We're working on those postural muscles, and it is based off the x-rays as well. Spinal manipulations, which is chiropractic. Again, chiropractic is breaking up adhesions, but it's also helping reset the neurology. So neuromuscular reeducation, which is a vibe plate, we talked about that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is PEMF technology. That is a magnet. Okay, and they found that it increases circulation so well that it decreases inflammation dramatically. So this study showed that the green line is using a PEMF machine, the red line is using a steroid. They found out that using a PEMF machine decreased inflammation 50% as much as a steroid. Okay, 50% is pretty darn good. If someone said, hey, you could just lay on a magnetic mat and get half the benefits as you getting a steroid shot, I'd be like, sign me up for that, right? I mean, so it's easier, it's cheaper, it works 50% as well. So I thought that's pretty cool research there.
At the Beamer machine?
That's the Beamer, yeah. So that's something that we use on our patients as well. These are some different machines that vibrate and actually help remodel those ligaments, help reform the curve in the neck, thoracic curvature. We use this gun called an arthrostim that pulsates to break up adhesions, work on posture. We use this to decompress the disc in the low back. Here's some results we've gotten. Some with scoliosis, curvature. We got everything balanced, got things straightened out. There's some other stuff in the office, but here's just some. I just want to show you guys some pictures. So that's it, really. The spine is so important in autoimmune disease, pain. Literally, I can relate any kind of disease and how the spine can play an important impact. Again, even if you don't have pain, every 99% of Americans need spinal work. Okay. Back in the day, people didn't brush their teeth so much because they ate really healthy and they took grass and they flossed their teeth with it. Things were different. People didn't get adjusted. People didn't do stretches, but it's because they didn't sit all day. They weren't in car accidents. I mean, they were walking all day. They were sleeping on flat surfaces. They weren't sitting looking down at a computer. So because of our lifestyle now, it's 100%, it's not important. It's, I think, 100% necessary to just maintain spinal health. So if you're not having issues now and you live in America, eventually those spinal issues are going to develop, whether you're 40 or whether you're 70. So it's definitely an investment. And I just had a lot of patients just feel better. They're like, yeah, I don't have any pain. I have more energy. Like I just feel, my body just feels so much better. So
once again, I think it's your belief system. And if you believe your body can heal itself, then it makes sense to have a baseline of where you are. Like I always have neck pain. I jumped off a dock into a sand pit one day. It came in at high tide. I jumped off the dock at low tide and literally face planted at the bottom of the bay. And that just messed my neck up forever. So I always have those issues. But so I'm going to set an appointment to come see you and get all my exercise so you can see where I am and what I do.
So what I want to do for you and everyone else, we'll do free x-rays for everyone. So anyone that just wants to know what their neck looks like, what their spine looks like, we'll do free x-rays for anyone that's a part of your company. And we can do that for spouse, family members as well. But just we'll do a quick x-ray. Hey, here's what's going on. And then look at your insurance and say, hey, if you want to get this corrected, here's what your copay. Insurance does cover a lot of this actually, which is nice because there's codes we can bill. We can bill traction, we can bill physical therapy, chiropractic. So there's a lot better coverage. But yeah, we'll do that for free. And then we'll just say, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what we recommend, whether you want to do it now or whether you want to wait till the new year when you have more time. But knowledge is power. So it's always good. You don't have to do something about it right now, but you want to at least know what you're working with.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, if you're listening, can you let Angelique be a co-host? Angelique, I didn't start the meeting. Mike did, so I have to ask him. She just texted me after she could jump in. She wants to give you some kudos.
Yeah.
And Nancy said, what about so much computer use and cell phone use with your neck? Well, that's what you were just talking about.
Oh, right. We're literally doing this all day. So, and then that's the cool thing about what we do is like with the orthotic, you land that 10 minutes a night. So it's like, hey, 1 or 2 treatments a month, doing some of your exercises at home, 2 hours in investment a month, you can negate and reverse the 100 hours, 200 hours that you're looking down. Even though you're looking down 200 hours, we don't have to get you looking up 200 hours. Really, in a couple hours, we can negate all that through orthotics, adjustments, and things like that. So yeah, a lot of this is just reversing what you do to your body on a daily basis.
Dr. X, what is your office contact information?
The easiest thing is just our website, axholisticmedicine.com. Or just, and then you can submit your information. We call you. But I'll just put it up on the screen here. We have that. Let's see. And then on our home website, there's so much. Again, I put 5 years of work in this website, so there's some good stuff on here. If you go to services, you can look up spinal chronic pain. You can look up chiropractic. You can look up regenerative medicine and just see what we do and what's there. About us, let's do contact us. And then it's got our address here on Bruce P. Downs. It's got our number.
I put the website address in the chat, everybody. Angelique, you're live. You can just unmute or turn your camera on, whatever you like.
Good morning. I just got back from walking Chloe, so I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm camera ready. So I would like to know what platform you build your website on. That's one question for Dr. Axe. And then the other thing is I have been going to see Dr. Axe and Dr. Benner for almost 3 months now. I go twice a week. And I can tell when I need to go have an adjustment. It's amazing the difference in the way I feel. And I want to say, I'm sorry, I'm echoing. I don't know what to do to turn the echo off. But
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Are you on your phone or your computer?
I'm on my computer now, and my phone is not on.
Put it up, hit mute on your speaker. You hit mute.
On my phone?
Well, if you're on your phone, turn that off. And
Turn the volume down on your computer, Jessica says.
yeah,
Jessica needs to come see it too. She's our daughter.
pretty smart too. Figured that out.
So,
Yeah, one thing
you
I
know
would,
how we, as a real estate company, all of our managers, our staff, we give you guys the tools, right? We give you guys the tools, and it's up to you, the agents, to put those tools to use, to find what works for you. And Dr. Axe's practice is the same way. They're giving us tools. They're giving me tools. And as when I'm following the protocol, I can definitely tell a difference. It's the same thing I tell Dr. Benner all the time. Thank you for the tools. As long as I'm putting the work into it, putting the effort into doing the physical therapy on my own, making sure I'm not missing appointments, taking my supplements that are specifically prescribed for me based on my blood work. It's amazing. It's a true partnership, and it's functional medicine, nutrition and supplements. It's the chiropractor, it's the adjustments, the physical therapy and the adjustments, putting you all back together. And there's also an emotional component to this, where they have counselors that, if you have things going on and you need somebody to see or talk to in a safe space, they have that component available as well. It's truly a
Holistic approach.
and an all-encompassing approach, right? I mean, it's all aspects. I've been to chiropractors off and on my whole life. I've done the nutrition, and I've done the supplementation, but I've never had it all in one place with everybody communicating. The 3 chiropractors that are there all share charts, all know where you are in your process. They've got physical therapists on staff who can help you with your exercises. Amazing. Then you can use all of the machines in Dr. Axe's office. The beamer is there. The flexion machine is there. They have all the bands and balls and weights, and I mean, you name it, and they've got it. It's absolutely amazing. I cannot tell you enough how appreciative, how grateful I am for your care. And truly your care, you and Dr. Benner, amazing, the care that I feel from you guys. You actually care about me and what's going on with me, and you're wanting to help me specifically based on my needs. I just can't say thank you enough. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, really. You guys are really, truly making a difference.
thank you. I working long
And
days.
I'll see you Saturday, and I can't wait for my adjustment.
Yeah. No, thank you for those kind words. I think the big thing, I'm like a lot of you guys, right? Own a business, busy. And I think some people get overwhelmed. They don't want to do too much. One thing I really try to do with people, I have patients that live in Orlando and they're very time constricted. So don't feel like, hey, I'm gonna have to change everything about how I eat. I'm gonna have to be going here and there all the time. I like to start small with people. If you can't invest a lot, hey, maybe let's just get you on a B vitamin. Let's get you in here once a month, get your spine tuned up. I'm gonna give you stuff you can do at home on your lunch breaks. So don't feel like you have to change your entire life overnight. We can go as quickly or as slowly as people want. Sometimes I like to just do 1 or 2 little simple things, get you feeling better. And then people get hooked on it, right? They're like, I love feeling better. What can I do next to just keep feeling better? And then people get addicted basically to just
So
feeling
true.
better. So
Give us free x-rays, huh?
yeah. So I just want people to feel like they're going to have to like put a bunch of time, money, energy. You know, we just start small, just one little thing every year, just change one little habit, fix one little thing about your health. And in 5 years from now, you'll be in a better place.
Very cool. Well, Dr. X, I think that's wonderful. And I really have enjoyed my time with you too, but I've only seen you once.
Yeah.
But I'll be back for more, and I'll definitely take you up on the x-rays. And team, we care about your health too. I mean, making money is no good if you can't enjoy your time. And if your body's not good and your health is bad, then what good is your money? You spend most of your time making money and then destroying your health. And then when you're old, you got lots of money and no health, and you give all your money if you could get your health. And I think it's very optimistic that you can cure a lot of problems that modern medicine says you can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
They give the gift of flexibility and mobility.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing that I am getting out of this. I'm able to move and not hurt. It's great.
The simple things in life, right?
Right? Man, what a difference in your whole outlook and your attitude when you're not living in pain every single day. You're not hurting. So thank you.
Yeah. Like I said, the first step, just let's get some x-rays and see what's there, you know, before we go too deep into it. Just see what the pictures show and kind of go from there. So just call or send us a message. I'm going to tell the girls right now, hey, anyone calls from that's affiliated with you guys, free x-rays and first consult, just so they're aware.
Very cool.
All right.
All right, guys, awareness gives you flexibility. No pun intended.
Thank you, Dr. Axe.
All right.
All right.
See you guys.
All right, I'm going to sign off too. Or Mike, you can